And he mentioned with a set intention. Why does the definition include with a set intention? Because let's say a person got up today, for example, and they were really busy, so they didn't eat from now until Maghrib. They were really busy, they didn't get a chance to eat. Does that cause fasting on Ramadan? No, it's not. There has to be intention, and it has to be within a month of Ramadan. And the fasting was prescribed for us, or written for us as an obligation in the second year of Hijrah. In the second year after Rasulullah migrated from Mecca to Medina. And Rasulullah he fasted a total of 9 Ramadans in his life. He fasted 9 seasons in his entire life. Of those, 8 times were 30-day Ramadans. And one of them was a 29-day Ramadan. And we know that every year, Ramadan alternates between 29 and 30 because of the lunar calendar. And so, Rasulullah fasted the majority of them as 30 days, and only one of those 9 was a 29-day. The final obligation is, and the final pillar of Islam is, to fast, to perform the Hajj, for anyone who is able to do so. And the Hajj takes a period of over 3 to 4 days. And the main rites of Hajj is that you do tawaf around the Kaaba, then you do your sa'i, you're running between Safa and Marwa, thereafter you shave your head, and then there's 3 days, you spend 1 day on Arafah, and then you spend the day in Muzdalifah, or the night in Muzdalifah, and then 3 days in Mina. And then you do your farewell pilgrimage. These are the rites of Hajj, in a nutshell. And it takes over a period of over 3 to 4 days. In this day and age, we go there for 3 or 4 weeks, because there's other etiquettes which we do, like visiting Medina to Rasulullah and so forth, and we like to spend as much time there as possible. But traditionally it was a 3 to 4 day experience. And we know that Hajj erases all of our minor and our major sins. Every single sin gets erased by the performing of Hajj. Now, does the Hajj erase the tabi'at, the sins or the rights of others? Does it forgive the rights of others? This is a very important topic, because let's say, for example, you borrowed money off a certain person. You borrowed money, or you stole something from a certain person. Then you went to do Hajj. And then you're returning from Hajj, and you passed away. Is that sin forgiven, or is it still held against you? The majority of scholars have said that Hajj even erases these rights of others if a certain condition is met. If a certain condition is met. What's that condition? Let's say, for example, you return from Hajj, or you've just finished your Hajj, and you know you've got a right and you owe somebody else. And you say, inshallah, when I get back, I'm going to pay Muhammad back the money that I stole from him Monday, or the money that I borrowed from him, and so far I refused to pay him back. And then you passed away. But your intention in going back is to exhaust your efforts to pay back that money that you owe him, and you passed away, then even that sin is forgiven. On condition that you exert your energy in order to fulfill that debt or that trust. If, however, you come back from Hajj and say, we'll see, maybe today, tomorrow, you procrastinate, then it's not forgiven. But you have the intention to pay it back and you exert your energy trying to do so, then even those sins are forgiven for you. And Hajj is an obligation which is obligatory, but it's one of those actions which is not an immediate obligation. What does that mean? It means that, for example, I've got the ability to go to Hajj this year. Assuming I've never been to Hajj, I can go this year. But I decide not to do so. Am I sinful? Am I sinful for not going? Hajj is an obligation if you're able to go. I'm able to go this year, but I don't go. Am I sinful? No. Hajj is an obligation, and you have to do it at least once before you die. If I say, I'll do it next year, inshallah, I can say that, I'm allowed to say that. And I can go next year, inshallah. The risk, though, is that I should never procrastinate. And I should never say, inshallah, I'll do it later. Why? Because no one has a guarantee of when their expiration date is. No one has a guarantee of when they're going to die. So if I said, I can go this year, but I don't really want to, I'll go this year instead. And I die from now to next year, I'm sinful now before not doing the Hajj. I'm sinful now for not doing the Hajj because I procrastinated. Okay? But if, for example, I can go this year and I don't, and instead I go next year, then I haven't committed any sin for not going in this current year. I hope that's good, inshallah. The author then, Imam Ahmad bin Zayn, after this he mentions that these 5 pillars must be done with sincerity and with faith. with sincerity and faith. And whoever does it without sincerity, they're a hypocrite. And whoever does it without faith, whoever says it without faith, they're a disbeliever. What's the difference between these two? Between a lack of sincerity and a lack of faith. The lack of sincerity renders someone to be a hypocrite. So the person knows what they're saying, and they're conscious of what they're saying, and they're saying it intentionally, knowing the meaning of what they're saying and the ramifications of it, and they say it anyway. And there were many hypocrites at the time of Rasulullah, and the leader was Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, la'anahullah, who had a great enmity to Rasulullah and affected Rasulullah in many ways. So there's someone who knows what they're saying, and they say it intentionally, and they know the effects of what they're saying, and they choose to do so anyway. Whereas a disbeliever is someone who says it unintentionally, or says it without knowing the meaning. Like I'm sure, for example, when you're kids, you would have said to a non-Muslim friend at school, say La ilaha illallah. And as soon as they say it, it's, you're a Muslim. You know, they go running home to their mother or to the teacher crying, I'm a Muslim, or something like that. And it's something we used to do when we were kids. Well, that's one of the guidance. Anyway, it's something that, so obviously this person isn't a Muslim. Why? Because they didn't actually know what they're saying. They don't know what they're saying. They said it, but they didn't know the meaning or the ramifications of what they've said. So that's the difference between the two. Now, a very quick, important point, inshallah, before we continue, and we'll wrap up shortly, inshallah, that if someone dies having said the Shahada, whether they're hypocrite or not, they died having said the Shahada, to us, they're a Muslim. To us, they're a Muslim, because we judge according to the external, according to what we see. And we don't know what's in the hearts of men. So if someone dies having said La ilaha illallah, then we give them the rights of a Muslim. Like, we wash them, we shroud them, we pray over them, and we bury them with the Muslims. Okay, even though with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his judgment may be something else. He may be one of the disbelievers. So there's something between himself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But according to us, we give him the rights of a Muslim because that's what we can see, the external. And the internal is left for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As for someone who may die externally or on the apparent level, to us, they may be a disbeliever. But to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they may actually be a believer. And again, this is because we can't see what's in the hearts, so we judge on the external. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who penetrates through to the hearts and can see the hearts, and so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may admit this person into paradise, because deep down they may have been a believer, but we didn't know that. The next section, the Imam speaks about the topic of faith. And inshallah I'll give you a quick introduction to this topic and then leave the rest to next week inshallah. He speaks about the topic of faith. And the topic that he speaks about is related to what we must have faith in order for us to be considered to be a true Muslim. So the 5 pillars of Islam are the external. To say La ilaha illallah, to pray, to fast, to do this. Whereas faith refers to the internal. Okay, so he speaks about what we have to have faith in. And this section predominantly relates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his attributes. And the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have to believe in. And essentially this topic is at the very heart of Aqidah, Islamic creed. And it's a very, very, very important topic. It's a very important topic. Why is it an important topic? Because it relates to our knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have to believe in order for us to be Muslim. So for example, let's say someone says, La ilaha illallah, or Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna MuhammadRasulAllah. Okay, someone was a Christian. We told them about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they accept Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna MuhammadRasulAllah. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. But when he says there is no God but Allah, he means there's only one God, but his concept of God is a Trinity. Is this person still a Muslim? No. Okay? But this person obviously has no knowledge of Aqidah. The topic of Aqidah deals with these sorts of things. It deals with the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's one, that He has no partner, that He has no likeness, and so on and so forth. Okay? So this is why it's very important to know this. That a person may give the testimony of faith, give the Shahada, but they have corrupt beliefs which go against the Islamic creed, which go against the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And until they study the subject and correct these views, they have a question mark over some of their beliefs. And it is something which has to be corrected and has to be addressed. And so this is why this topic is very, very, very important. Now, the topic of Aqidah, it has three main categories. It's divided into three main categories. The Ilahiyat, Nubuwat, and Sam'iyat. The attributes which relate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His attributes. And the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so that which relates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have that which relates to the prophets and the attributes of the prophets. And then we have the Sam'iyat, which are the unseen. Heaven, hell, the Day of Judgment, the jinn, the malaika, the paradise, the sirat, the hawd, all these things. Okay, and these are under the category of the Sam'iyat.